Welcome back everyone, Christine here with more Starcraft 2 Wings of Mengsk on the Nightmare difficulty. After evacuating from Marsara, 2 missions do open up, Agria and Monolith. I decide to go for Agria, figuring out that the colony missions, the refugee missions, would be fairly easy and a good way to get a bunch of resources and research. Oh boy, was I wrong on this subject.
Incoming transmission.
Thank you so much for responding to our distress call, Commander. I'm Dr. Ariel Hansen, and I represent the people of the Agria colony.
Pleasure to meet you, Doc. You can call me Jim. What's the situation?
The Zerg have overwhelmed our planetary defenses. The colony is lost. For the past 12 hours, we've been evacuating people to the nearest starport, but the Zerg attacks have become so intense, we can't get any more through. If you can guard the highway, we can start sending the remaining groups every few minutes.
Don't worry, Doc. We'll get your folks through to that starport safe and sound.
I pray you're right, Commander. The Zerg are more terrible than I ever imagined.
So in this mission, I'm given the Firebat Royal Guard. A bit redundant considering there is a Hellbat Royal Guard, but regardless. The Firebat is very strong and quite capable of holding off an entire army on its own. And I, of course, still have Raynor and Tychus, and I do also get access to the top bar abilities. Now, here's the thing about Mengsk's forces over here. You do have a really powerful army, but you do have limited numbers because you do need a huge amount of resources in order to get those numbers. So it means that wherever your army is, chances are you're going to inflict significant damage on the enemy. But you lack the strategic mobility in order to cover multiple fronts. This would end up hurting me quite a bit, not just in this mission, but in other missions as well. Regardless, I do go on a Zerg hunt. In fact, I even ignore one of the transports leading to its destruction as I'm busily dealing with the Zerg bases. The AI does love to build a bunch of forward bases in this mod, so they are quite a bit more dangerous than they are in the base game. But I do manage to pull through, and with the top bar abilities, I can summon Enthralled Zerg to use against enemy. Like, the Enthralled Zerg are pretty good at clearing an area out, especially once you get them to a higher level. So you start with Zerglings, you get Hydralisks, then you get Mutalisks, then finally Ultralisks, which do require you to get a huge amount of authority, which, yeah, requires me to basically get a bunch of high-level heroes, as well as doing other things. Regardless, though, it is pretty easy, just hectic. I almost lost my main base at one point because I left it undefended, and I did not expect the enemy to just march right into it, or to march at the spawn point where the colonists are gathering to set up a convoy to the starport. Yeah, that was a bit crazy, and really just a prelude for things to come. I expected that these colony missions would be fairly easy because they are by default. In the base game, they are fairly easy. Here, however, they might just actually end up, or one of them might just end up being one of the hardest missions in the game. I don't know. We'll see by the end of all of this.
What's up? That's the last of them. Go! Lift off now!
We've lost the colony, but my people got out alive, thanks to you, Commander.
Great job, sir. Dr. Hansen's offered to stay on with us for now, and I think her skills will be invaluable.
It's hard to believe I'm even here.
Great to have you, Doc. How you planning on pitching in?
Well, your medical facilities are medieval, and your science expertise is non-existent. Perhaps I could start there.
Ouch. Well, I guess you might be able to teach Stedman a thing or two. Welcome aboard, Doc.
There it is, Jimmy. Just like Mobius said. Easy money.
I don't know. There's a lot of Protoss down there. We're gonna have to... What the?
Enemies threaten to
Warning.
overwhelm
Multiple
us.
Zerg
Our troopers
biosignatures
need
detected.
better equipment.
Ah, hell.
Them critters were just hiding underground, waiting?
No idea, but you can bet they're headed straight for our shrine.
Well, that sure complicates things. We can't fight two armies at once, partner.
With any luck, we won't have to. We only need to hold the area at the top of the shrine long enough to extract the artifact. So we'll land here and cut our way through the Protoss lines while they're busy with the Zerg. It's only a matter of time before the Zerg overwhelm the Protoss. We'd best grab the artifact and be long gone by then.
So with the colonists evacuated, I head over to Monolith in order to deal with the Protoss. Normally I go for Monolith first before Agria, but I figured that the Protoss, the Tal'Darim, would be a bit of a bigger challenge. In reality, they were not quite a big of a challenge, nor were the Zerg. So normally in this mission, you do have a certain amount of time before Kerrigan's forces overwhelmed the Protoss defenders. Here, they were holding out for quite a good amount of time, and I was able to just very, very quickly, very efficiently take out their base, deal with their forces. Being able to summon an entire army of Zerg does absolutely help at dealing with any kind of enemy defenses, but the Aegis Guard are quite a strong counter for any kind of Protoss unit. So it makes the mission pretty easy. I mean, it was a bit touch and go. Like at one point, Kerrigan's forces were very close to the enemy base, but just because they're close to the enemy base does not mean that they're going to overwhelm the Tal'Darim. So the Tal'Darim held on in the north, so I was able to deal with them in the south and just capture all the relics for the bonus objective and secure the artifact.
We got what we came for. Let's hightail it out of here.
I forgot how resourceful you were, Jim. I won't make that mistake twice.
Kerrigan.
That's funny, convict. I don't recall giving you access to our database.
Just keeping up on current events, Captain. Seems this Queen of Blades got everybody running scared. She don't look so tough.
You have no idea who she is, do you, Tychus?
Don't matter to me none.
Well, it matters to Jim. They were close once.
Wait a minute. You're telling me they were shacked up?
Apparently she was something else. Before the Zerg took her. Turned her into that.
And Jimmy feels responsible.
Honestly, if we have to face her again, I don't know what he'll do.
Woman like that, there's only one thing to do.
Jim, refugee populations from across the sector have been using Meinhoff as a staging point. But with so many people in close proximity, an epidemic of some kind has started sweeping through the camps. Please, my people need help. We've got to do something before it's too late.
So what are we looking at, Doc?
Our readings indicate some kind of bio-infestation is spreading through the refugee camps. Even the buildings are being covered by it.
I've seen this kind of thing before. It's a Zerg virus. All we can do is burn it out. Every one of those infested buildings has to be destroyed.
But where are all the people? Oh no. Those things are infested refugees? This is a nightmare.
Yeah. This ain't good at all.
It looks like they burrow underground by day and emerge only at night. The virus must make them vulnerable to the high UV output of Meinhoff's star.
Then we'll hit the infested buildings by day and protect our base at night. Don't worry, Doc. We'll contain this thing.
Now, at this point, we have Meinhoff, the infestation over there. We get the Hellbat Royal Guard, which is probably better than the Firebat in every single way. Is quite very durable. It has a lot more HP, does a ton of damage. Like, you can use the vehicle version, which is very fast, but I prefer to use the infantry version, so to speak, which is slower, sure, but it does a heck of a lot more damage and is very, very damn durable against all of these infested that are in this mission. This is a pretty easy mission, not really too much of a problem. There are a lot of enemies and resources are limited, and also, yeah, infested banshees, not really a fun. Aberrations do become a bigger problem than I anticipated originally, but yeah, just not really a difficult mission whatsoever to deal with. It was more of a case like, hey, can I maintain my resources in this mission and wipe them out before I run out of minerals and Vespine? Yeah, pretty easy affair, really. At one point, like later on in the mission, I was just literally killing so many infested with just a couple units in bunkers that it's like, yeah, I was not gonna lose this mission in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I actually ended up destroying a lot of enemy structures during the night, where if you attack structure, a swarm of infested spawn, pissing them off. So you really don't want to do this normally. At least not on brutal, let alone, custom difficulty like Nightmare, but hey, Firebats and Hellbats, Royal Guard, very damn powerful units, regardless, so I was able to win through this mission. That just leaves the final colony mission to deal with, and that was going to be a very different affair.
You did it, Jim. I knew you wouldn't let us down. Now I've got to get my people somewhere safe.
Ain't gonna be so easy, darling. This whole sector's crawling with Zerg.
There's got to be somewhere out there the aliens haven't touched. Some undiscovered paradise waiting just for us.
Thanks for joining us. Our own Kate Lockwell is reporting live from the refugee ship Skinnerd 2 in orbit around the planet Meinhoff.
Donnie, the death toll out here is soaring. Massive refugee fleets like this one are struggling to reach the safety of the core worlds. Many of them won't. They're short on food, water, and
Kate,
hope.
we'll discuss how the Dominion will rescue those worlds when we get there.
There's a lot of talk about rescue among the refugees, but they're pinning their hopes on paramilitary and rebel groups such as Raynor's...
Great report, Kate. Live from a refugee ship over Meinhoff, where everyone eagerly awaits the Dominion's return. Up next, a Vermilion commentary. Refugees. Are they really our responsibility?
You're all heart, Donnie. What do you think of Dr. Hansen?
She's a lovely thing. Full of honey, that one. At least, that's what she wants you to think.
You think she's hiding something?
You ever wonder why the Zerg hit our world so fast? Something there they want. Something made of honey, maybe. Buzzing little bees.
My people established a new colony on Haven. It was going well, but now the colony's gone dark. They're not responding on any frequency. We need to get there and see what the situation is. They might have been exposed to the Zerg virus, and they are on the verge of Protoss space. Jim, I'm worried that something has gone very wrong.
We're almost to Haven, but there's still been no contact from... Sir, There's a Protoss fleet holding in orbit. They're disrupting all communications to the surface, and it looks like they're powering up their main weapons.
Jim, you have to stop this.
Matt, open a channel to the Protoss. Let's see how diplomatic they're feeling.
Intaro Tassadar, James Raynor. I am Executor Sinnelleos. Your bravery and service to Ire are known to us.
Intaro Tassadar, Sinnelleos. Listen, with all due respect, your fleet needs to pull back. The people on Haven are no threat to you.
Our observers detected Zerg hive spores infesting the colonists. They must be purified. If you wish to undertake this mission in our stead, we will permit it.
Jim, some of my people are infested. But you can't let the Protoss just destroy them all. If you keep the Protoss at bay, I know I can find a cure for the infestation.
The only cure for Zerg infestation is purification by fire. You know this to be true, James Raynor.
I can cure them, Jim. Believe me.
If you choose to resist us, we will meet in glorious combat. The choice is yours, James Raynor. We await your answer.
I'm so sorry, Ariel. But the Executor's right. Believe me, they wouldn't have come all the way here if their data wasn't conclusive. Call off your fleet, Sinnelleos. This is a Terran thing. I'll handle it myself.
What? This isn't right. I thought you were a better man than this, Jim.
Ariel, if there was a cure, you would have found it by now. The only thing we can do is put an end to this once and for all.
I won't accept that. Every one of my people can be saved. I'm close to finding the cure, I know it.
Honor to you, James Raynor. You were ever a true friend of the Protoss. Although this work is painful for you, many more lives will be saved by your actions this day.
We've all laid it on the line for these folks more than once. But there's only one way we can help them now. We've got to save the ones we can, and kill the rest. I know it's terrible, but if we wipe out these infested settlements, we'll save the whole damn planet from being overrun.
Ain't nothing a little fire won't cure. A lot of ground to cover, though. We ain't got enough troops to be everywhere at once.
Don't worry about it. Swan's already got that covered.
Yeah, I got you covered. Had to call in a few favors to get the schematics for these babies. You owe me big time, cowboy. Don't forget, these bad boys can switch between air and ground mode anytime you need them to.
Those Vikings will make all the difference. But it looks like some of the infested colonists are turning already.
And those structures are infesting more of them.
Let's just get this done.
Sir, that virophage structure is spreading the Zerg virus to the colonists. We've got to destroy all the virophages. The more of them there are, the more infested we'll have to fight. Sir, I'm detecting some large Zerg flyers. They match the reported profiles for broodlords. Be careful. They're lethal against ground targets.
We'll hit him from the air. Where are my Vikings at?
So I decide to side with the Protoss against the colonists in Haven's Fall. I'm just not buying what Hansen is selling me on the subject. Now, this mission is pretty easy in the vanilla version, but here it's an absolute nightmare. Now, you do get Vikings, and I imagine if I was fighting the Protoss, it would be a very different affair, but fighting the Zerg, well, it ends up being a complete nightmare. I just lack the ground forces necessary to push through on the Zerg bases, and Sky Furies, while they are absolutely very, very strong against their targets, they're not really so good against ground targets that they're able to deal with the situation quite effectively. I do rush one of the initial locations here very quickly to secure it against the Zerg. But yeah, then the Zerg just spawn on top of me, which is like, yep, mission failed over here. didn't quite work out the way I intended it to, unfortunately. Still, I do manage to eliminate one of the bases, or at least put some damage on one of the bases, but the problem is there's so many Zerg in this mission. Even though you have a massive Protoss force on your side in this one, there's so many Zerg in this mission that it's absolutely insane trying to deal with this affair by default, really. So it ends up being quite a bit of a nightmarish mission to actually tackle in more ways than one. In fact, it takes me over an hour to deal with this mission, and it kind of bugs out in multiple ways. I'm sure the mod creators did not intend this to be done in such a way, but I just don't have the units necessary to deal with the bases except for a grindy attrition warfare on the ground. I do manage it, but it probably would have been a lot easier had I played some other missions first, gotten some different units first. Like siege tanks would have been amazing in this mission, for instance. That's just an example, really, on the subject. I did complete Tasha's missions beforehand, so I did have access to Spectres, so I did have access to nukes, but still, it is quite a bit of a problem to actually deal with this one. And what I ended up doing, really, is that I ended up forming a strong enough force that I could bottleneck the infested Zerg in one specific location and basically prevent them from marching on my main base while the Protoss were holding in the north. And eventually, what ended up occurring is that the Protoss were able to build a strong enough force that they were pushing the Zerg back. So it was just a question of me holding them off, holding the Zerg off while the Protoss did their thing against the infested bases. Again, I'm sure that this is not how the mission is designed to be done, but at this point, I just didn't find a better solution with the toolkit that I did have. Like, in the original one, you can just build a bunch of Vikings and easily deal with this, either dealing with the Protoss or dealing with Zerg. I imagine it would have been a lot easier to deal with the Protoss. I probably could have gotten away with just building a bunch of Sky Furies, but not against the Zerg. Not when they have infestors, not when they have a lot of ground forces, not when they have X, Y, and Z. So, was a bit of a mess, I'm not gonna lie. I imagine there's better ways, like I could have probably just moved to the expansion point and form that as a bottleneck over there against the enemy, hold them off there, and then just send a bunch of Sky Furies across the map. But yeah, this is what ended up happening. Eventually won, and we get to see Hansen's fate. And I think really this would be canonical, but really with Tosh we've seen hints of him in future games, but with Hansen nothing, one way or another. So who knows exactly what ended up happening with her, though I believe there is a mention that she is likely dead, canonically speaking. Senior, signing out.
Seal all access points. You
enjoy killing me? Like you killed my children?
You're infested. You're dead already.